What is up, guys? Student operator here. Recently I got a chance to meet up with my buddy Blake Flannery, retired Force Recon Marine, and we got a chance to sit down and talk about gloves, particularly gloves for working in cold environments. Now, a few little housekeeping things before we get in the main video. The messed up comment. You guys have been really letting me down lately. I'm a very disappointed father right now. None of the comments on the previous couple of videos have even warranted a shout out. So for those of you guys who might be new here, the most messed up comment left on every video gets a shout out in the next video. For those of you who've been around here a little while, step your game up. Now, on to the sponsor of this channel, US Elite Gear. Now, I am not paid by US Elite Gear. I'm given a discount on some things that they sell. They're just a distributor. They don't really make anything. They just sell things they like, and I receive a discount on them. You guys can use the code STUDOP in all caps for free shipping on anything that you order from there. Now, today's topic is gloves. They have a wide selection of gloves. So if there's something that you think you need to complete your lineup, so head on over to US Elite Gear and use that code for some free shipping on your gloves. All right, here's the video. What's up, guys? Student operator here, joined with my buddy Blake Flannery, and today we're going to be doing a video on how to keep your hands warm in cold weather. So, Blake, you want to give a real quick thing on your background, what you've been doing and what you're doing now?
Yeah, sure. Hey, I'm Blake Flannery. I'm a retired United States Marine. I was primarily Force Recon during my time, and now that I am retired, I work with Orion Training Group and some other folks, and still kind of training people in close quarters battle and marksmanship and some other fun stuff like that. So,
yeah. So with that, let's dive into it.
Cool. So, talking about gloves and keeping your hands warm, especially in colder weather. So, we got different types of gloves. Starting with basic field glove or contact glove. These ones are OR, and they're a very thin and lightweight material. And kind of moving up from there, these are pig gloves. They're still very lightweight, but this made of slightly more durable. And then you go from there. All right, same pig gloves, also a little more durable. These ones are actually insulated. These are also insulated gloves that are essentially what we call a contact glove. So these are the gloves that go directly against your skin on your hand. The majority of field conditions, temperate weather, these types of gloves are going to do you just fine. If it's very wet, you might want to pack a second set of gloves. So I could start by wearing these gloves, and then once I go into a static position, I can take these off, put them in an inside pocket in my jacket to dry them, and then switch to a dry set of gloves, because that'll help keep my hands warmer.
And another point on that, on storing your gloves, a lot of guys love to run them, myself included, love to run them on a carabiner attached to their belt. If you're doing that in the rain and these are hanging top up, your gloves that you got for later are going to be soaked when you go to put them on.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're working in wet weather, anything spare you carry out should be protected by the weather or it defeats the purpose. So a spare set of gloves will be carried in a pack, or salt bag, or if I'm going out light, like maybe I'm just going to be out all day on the range training, then these would go in a range bag or in a Ziploc bag in my cargo pocket to protect them so they're dry when I want to swap them out. But talk about extended field conditions, wet, cooler weather, good to have two sets of gloves. If we talk about more temperate, warmer conditions, you can get away with one pair because the risk of hypothermia and all that goes way down with the warmer temperatures. When it starts getting colder, you can bring a more insulated glove. These are also outdoor research. Again, you got these pig insulated gloves. So especially if it's going to be dry and cooler, you go static. The gloves that you've been sweating in while you were moving, hiking or moving into a hunt, get to a stand, you put on a slightly warmer glove. That way your hands aren't getting cold. And you want to level up essentially based on the temperature. If it's about 50 degrees outside, probably still good with these, right? Maybe if I got them super soaked in traveling through wet brush and sweating in them, depending on how hard the movement was. Then I could change them out to a dry set or a slightly more insulated pair, and I'm going to be good. If I go straight to a heavy insulated mitten or something like that, that's just going to cause my hands to sweat. That's going to be as equally uncomfortable, and eventually my hands will get cold again from being wet, and the garment will lose its effectiveness. So don't go overboard in how you level up and layer and start warming yourself back up. If it starts getting much colder, it's winter time, so most of the United States is getting pretty cold. That's where you want to start thinking about layering with gloves. I still recommend that for most temperatures, you start with a contact glove, something lightweight. Again, pack 2 pairs, have a second pair that's protected from the weather, and when you change them out, that pair goes inside your jacket or stuffed behind your plates, so your body heat can dry them. And then good, something like a mitten. All right, there are some that even have the trigger finger isolated, so you can continue to shoot if you're out hunting in cold weather, something like that. Is good because it'll keep your hands warm, but not so warm if I were to pair an insulated glove and an over mitten together. And then when I need more dexterity, I simply slip these mittens off, and they will usually have these tether cords, or you can build them in yourself. So I just slip them off. I can use the dexterity. A lot of these gloves also have built-in capability to work with your touch screens if you got to make a phone call or pull up a navigation app.
Or post to Instagram.
Then you can do that with these gloves without having to expose your bare hands. Especially if you start talking about freezing temperatures, contact frostbite is a thing. So if I take bare hands and I touch a piece of metal, I can actually get contact frostbite from that. But by having my hand protected by just this lightweight glove, I can avoid it. And then the same thing, if I'm moving and my hands start feeling really warm, I can just slip these off and let them dangle, or pull them off and stuff them inside my jacket, common theme. And then I just go with my contact glove until I start getting really cold again, and then I can layer back up. All right. Now you can go with a kind of dedicated winter glove. So these are very tight, and I wouldn't be able to get a contact glove in here. This is something you would wear like you're going to go skiing or snowboarding, because you're not going to be out all day. You're going to be very active. So while you're being very active, even though these things are going to get wet and you're going to be in cold conditions, you won't notice it because you're being active. And then you're going to go home and you can hang these out or put them in a dryer. So that, not bad for recreational use. They're not great for extended field use. All right, where you have to plan for contingencies. If you're wearing something like this, or even a contact glove, kind of a cheat code that you can utilize is you can put on a surgical glove first. So even something as simple as like the blue toweling gloves or anything like that, you put that on first and then put on your regular glove, because that surgical glove will reflect some of the heat back in your hand and help keep it warm. The downside is it will also make your hands sweat sooner. Now it'll keep that water in, so you can pull that glove off, and if you have something to dry your hands, put fresh gloves on. But then, depending on how much your hands sweat and get hot, you're going to be going through a bunch of gloves. So you have to know yourself and figure out if that's a good solution for you. But it is a solution that people use, even just recreationally. Throw some surgical gloves on, throw on your regular cold weather gloves, go running around outside and playing in the snow. They help keep your hands warmer and drier for a little bit longer, and by the time they're soaked in sweat, you're ready to go inside anyways. All right, so it's about knowing your activity and knowing yourself. Additionally, this is
from HRT Tactical. This is my Christmas present from Dan, so thank you, Dan.
So it's a hand warmer, right? This is a more tactical hand warmer, right? It's built by a gear company, so it's insulated on the inside. You can put your hands in there. That'll help keep your hands warm. So if you're wearing kit, This attaches to the front of your kit or into the plate bag closure. This one has a little pocket, so you can put a hand warmer in there. And you know, they make these for football players as well. So like you can just get one of those, because sometimes the stuff made by tactical companies is a little more expensive because they're built a little more robust. So you work within your budget, but there's a lot of this stuff out there as well.
What I like to use that for personally is if I'm shooting like a 2-gun match or something that's, I need the dexterity and the ability to use, you know, manipulate weapon controls. I will wear the contact glove, and then I have that on while I'm shooting or pasting targets. Then the rest of the time I'm pretty much standing around static. This is a really easy way, if I'm already wearing a chest rig or a carrier or something, I can just tuck my hands in here. They're more protected from the wind, from the water. And that's a solution that's been working pretty well for me over the past few weeks that I've had this.
Something else that can work really well for drier weather is a simple hoodie, right? Your normal hoodies, especially like a Whoopie hoodie, if you're wearing plates or a chest rig, that front pocket actually sits below, so you can just stick your hands in there. I've done that on ranges when I'm just hanging out. It works out really well. And it's good for dry weather. If it starts raining, those aren't waterproof garments, so they're going to become saturated. It's also important to realize that if you are wearing materials that are made out of cotton or have cotton blends, if they get wet, they're not going to dry off. And if you're cold, you're going to continue to be cold and get colder. So if you want to use that hoodie trick, something like a Whoopie hoodie is better because it's made of synthetic material that holds its thermal properties better when it's wet. But there's a lot of things that you can use. I really do recommend always having a couple sets of lightweight contact gloves, because you can switch them out as they get wet. If you rip them, you can switch them out, and they're fast to dry with body heat by putting them inside your jacket. And again, even just switching out, going from a moving to static position, it can do a lot for you to switch out any wet clothes and put on dry ones. Not only does it help prevent hypothermia, but mentally it feels a lot better to be in warm, dry clothes instead of cold, wet ones. Even if it's warm enough, you can tough it out.
Absolutely. So Blake, where can people find you? Because you put out a lot of really good information on all kinds of stuff, from how to set up kit, considerations like this on your Instagram. So what's your Instagram?
So the Instagram is BlakeWater0326. Check it out. Follow if you like.
He's a wealth of information. If you don't follow him, you're wrong.
It's whatever. But yeah, BlakeWater0326. You can follow the page. I try to put out a lot of stuff like this that I learned in my 20 years in the Marines and life in general, to just try and give everybody else kind of a head start from where I had, so everybody else can get a little bit smarter.
Yep. And we just wrapped up a 2-day small unit tactic close quarters battle course run by Blake and also Jared, who we did an interview with previously. The course was phenomenal. Seriously, it was amazing. This is my first time working with you specifically as an instructor.
Well, I'm glad you got some out of it.
It was top notch. I highly recommend any of you guys come take one of these classes. So thank you for your time, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm staying after this class for a few minutes to make this video, and look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, Jared.
Yo.
Fuck you.